Hey everyone, it's Scott here, and this week we're going to talk about estate planning. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Scott, I don't need an estate plan because I don't have billions of dollars or millions of dollars. Sometimes when you say estate planning, that sounds like it's only for the ultra wealthy, but I'm here to tell you it's not. It's here for everybody. You need an estate plan, and basically an estate plan is just leaving your loved ones a nice, organized, clean way to distribute your assets, not leaving them a mess, okay? We don't want to leave your loved ones a mess, whether you're still alive or you've passed away. Now let's talk about, there's kind of 5 documents we're going to talk about today. The first 3 that we're going to talk about actually cover you while you're still living. So that is 1, power of attorney for healthcare, 2, power of attorney for assets, and 3, a living will. So a power of attorney for healthcare is going to designate a specific person that can make decisions for you, get information for you regarding your medical treatment, regarding your healthcare. Okay, so that's power of attorney for healthcare. Now, obviously, this comes into effect if you can't make those decisions for yourself. So whether you're incapacitated or you've lost your mental faculties, whatever it may be, you know, that power of attorney for healthcare is just designated a person that you decide to help you make those decisions. If you don't have that in place, the state is going to decide which family member, which next of kin that they're going to make those decisions for you. The next power of attorney is power of attorney for financial or assets, and this is exactly as it sounds. Same thing. It's designated someone to get information, make decisions on your investments or on your bank accounts or insurance policies, whatever it may be. You're designating someone to work in your best interest for financial matters. And this is really important. If you have money that's in a 401k, for instance, you have to designate a power of attorney in order for someone to withdraw it on your behalf. You can't just have you can't even have your spouse withdraw from a 401k without designating them to have that authority. So make sure you get those power of attorneys set up. It's really, really important. And then finally, the living will. This really specifies, at its most basic level, when do you want them to pull the plug? What treatments do you want to sustain your life? What treatments don't you want to sustain your life? And I think this is important because I think you should be the one making that decision. Don't put the burden on your loved ones. It's going to be a tough enough situation for them anyway. So do the groundwork ahead of time. Get that living will in place so that those hard decisions are already put on paper. It's a written plan. We talk a lot about written plans around here, huh? Okay, now let's talk about when you pass away, what documents do you need? But let's talk first about what happens if you pass away and you haven't taken care of these things, if you haven't put together an estate plan. Well, you go into probate. Your estate goes into probate, and probate is just a legal term for it's the legal process that administers your estate and distributes your assets. And if you don't have a will, if you don't have a trust that specifies how these things happen, the probate court is going to decide based on the state's rules how your assets, how your affairs are handled. So once again, I think you probably want control of how those things are handled. A will is going to take care of that. It's going to specify how you want your assets distributed. It's going to specify how you want your affairs handled. And it's just going to make probate a much simpler process. If you have a will, probate is simply going to validate that it's a legal and valid will. Okay. Now, one thing about probate is that it is public record. So if it's important to you to avoid that, a trust might be in the cards. So a trust, maybe not everyone needs it, but a lot of people could certainly benefit from it. A trust is going to avoid probate altogether. It gives you even a little bit more control than a will does. And it is going to do the same things, though. It's going to specify how you want your assets distributed, but you might even be able to control it a little bit more than a will can, plus you avoid that public record. Now, the disadvantage of a trust is that it does cost a little bit more to set up front than just a simple will. But for a lot of you, it's going to be worth it. The more complex your financial life, the more complex your family life. You know, if you're a blended marriage, a lot of times a trust is going to make a lot of sense because you have specific ways that you want each spouse's assets distributed. So that can be where a trust comes in really handy. And it's going to avoid the cost of probate. It's going to avoid the headaches that probate can cause. So those are the two documents that you should consider. You should definitely at least have a will so that when you pass away, you're not leaving a mess and you're just distributing things the way you want it handled, okay? So that's it this week. That's the simple explanation of estate planning. In future weeks, we're going to dial down into the nitty-gritty a little bit on estates and estate planning. Just wanted to give you those 5 key topics. So if you enjoyed this, if you want to see more videos that touch on different financial topics, go to carlsonfinancial.com. Check us out in Carl's Corner, or you can also subscribe to this channel so that anytime we post a video, you'll get it to your email right away. All right, that's it. Hope you all have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.